Maybe for years they thought you were an ordinary person. Some even despised you inwardly, whispered about you behind your back. But when they saw this new you, their mouths dropped open. No one can figure out exactly what has happened, but everyone feels as if you have changed, as if an invisible hand has made you shine and illuminate your path. Your light has shone so brightly that even those who ignored you can't help but look at you now. Whatever rumors, whatever doubts there were, they have all hit the wall and dissipated. Write 555 in the comments now, because the true light cannot be hidden. Your ascension is not an ordinary change. It is a miracle that comes from a combination of divine touch, destiny, and the power within yourself. Now everyone knows, there is no more the old you. You have stepped out of mediocrity and become the star of your own destiny. Imagine the moment a heavy storm cloud finally bursts, letting sunlight flood the land that's been hidden beneath grey for too long. That's the kind of shift happening right now. The night can't hold back the dawn any longer. In every life, there comes a day when what's been quietly swept under the rug can't be pinned down by the frayed corners of habit or fear. Like a river that's been swelling behind a dam, the truth is pressing, until it finds a crack and pours forth with undeniable strength. You find yourself standing at the threshold, not with trembling knees, but with a quiet readiness deep in your spirit. You're not just bracing for what's next. You're ready to see with heaven's eyes. Because in this new dawn, every silent rivalry that tried to grow like weeds in your garden is exposed for what it is. Each slight, each act of subtle sabotage, each root of envy that crept in under cover of night is now breaking the surface, and the blossoms aren't poison, they're evidence. There is a holy boldness in being the one chosen to witness and to reveal. As the mask drops from those who could not bear the weight of truth, the light that shines is not just on them, but through you. It's as if the universe itself is saying, "Let there be light," and nothing in that room will ever be the same again. Truth doesn't ask permission. It simply arrives, like the first bird's song that breaks open the morning. So, as the veil is pulled back, as the long-stilled waters begin to flow, take a deep breath and remember, this isn't just the ending of a cycle. It's the beginning of a greater revealing, a time when the glory planted in you is allowed to rise up, washing away everything that tried to dim it. You are standing at the riverbank, ready to cross over, and every hidden thing is finding its way to the light that radiates from your very presence. Beloved, this is what it means to be chosen, to stand unafraid as the dawn breaks, to welcome what was hidden with the peace of one who knows that divine justice and divine mercy walk hand in hand. The truth that finds you now has always known your name, and as it rises, so do you, steady, strong, and shining in the place prepared for you long before any shadow thought to challenge your light. Like a shaft of sunlight breaking through storm clouds after a long night, your presence brings clarity that no fog can withstand. When you walk into a room, every whisper of falsehood starts to wither. Every scheme that grew in the shade finds itself exposed by the brightness of truth. It's just like when the first golden rays touch a dew-soaked field. Suddenly, what was murky, muddled, or hidden stands out in crystal detail. The folks who once gathered in the half-light, plotting and spinning, now flinch in the warmth of authenticity, scrambling to cover what they can no longer keep secret. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but the souls of many through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's grand design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Act now. Share your blessings to glorify His kingdom. For you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. Beloved, you are the lamp that cannot be hidden under a basket, no matter how much they try to dim your flame. For years, your story was tossed around behind closed doors, twisted, reshaped, and spent like counterfeit money among people who never valued the real treasure. But the time of trading lies in secret is over. That poison they meant for you, it's like ink on their own hands. Every rumor, every embellishment, every shady detail is visible now in the light you carry. All the tangled knots of deceit unravel right back to where it all started. A heart that refused to harden, a spirit that chose integrity over bitterness, and a testimony that stood the test of shadows. It's just like the old days, when a single lantern in a small house could push back the darkness for an entire family. Your unwavering soul does the same, exposing every corner where shame tried to set up shop. Nothing can stay hidden. Not gossip, not backroom deals, not half-truths. The very stories they used to hurt you will be the ones that shine a spotlight on your strength. Those who spun tales about you in the darkness now find themselves blinking, unsure and uneasy, under a sky that keeps getting brighter because you never stopped shining. And let me tell you, when the sun rises, nothing planted in the dark can stay unexposed. What they meant for harm, God's using as a mirror to show them the depth of their own choices. Your strength doesn't come from fighting fire with fire, but by being the unshakable example that draws everything out into the open. Their words fall flat in the daylight, while your truth, simple, steady, and strong, becomes the bedrock for a new story. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. Ever noticed how a sunflower can sense the sun even before the clouds part? That gentle tilt, that uncanny turn toward warmth before the rays even break through. That's what your spirit has always done with truth. Deep inside, you've had a built-in weather vane, a God-given instrument that spun the moment the air shifted and signaled storms coming. You might not have always had words for it, but there was a knowing, a holy intuition that sent a ripple through your heart whenever someone's handshake was colder than their smile. It was more than just a sixth sense. It was heaven's alarm clock, set to ring every time you walked into a room that was painted one color on the surface but hiding a different shade in the corners. All the while, as you kept plowing your field with patience, never complaining, just nurturing your dreams, pulling weeds from your own garden, there were those lurking on the fence line, waiting to trample your harvest before it could even bloom. These were folks who saw you watering hope with sweat and prayer, but instead of cheering for your blessing, they circled like crows, hoping your corn would rot on the stalk. Every single milestone God granted you, every testimony you lifted up to give Him glory, they twisted into fodder for their jealous campfire. They'd take your celebrations, your promotions, your anniversaries, your family gatherings, and use them as fuel to stir up rumors and darken your name in rooms you hadn't even stepped into. Imagine a courtroom where every witness, once lined up against you, suddenly finds the light turned on, and what was meant to accuse is now evidence for your vindication. This isn't about revenge, it's about revelation. The receipts that once looked like a pile of accusations now stand as pillars in your story of resilience. proof that you never stooped to the level of your adversaries. Instead, you kept your hands clean and your head high, and now the pages of their gossip are turning into the chapters of your testimony. The divine does not sleep on the righteous. The holy calendar doesn't skip a single day of your struggle. Now is the moment when your discernment, the chills you felt, the gut punches of doubt, the sleepless nights spent replaying every sideways comment, will be seen not as paranoia, but as prophecy fulfilled. Where others thought you were just sensitive or suspicious, it's about to be clear you were chosen, equipped with an inner compass forged in the fires of God's truth. The very arrows they aimed at your back are being melted down to form a crown for your head. You're stepping into a new season where the lies lose their grip and the truth shines with the force of the noonday sun. Let this be your promise. The truth doesn't just set you free. It builds a bridge for others who are still stuck in the shadows, still doubting their own gut, still hoping someone will believe them. You become the lighthouse, the living testimony that says, if God can turn my receipts into redemption, He can do it for you too. Every secret thread that was woven to trip you up is now being pulled loose by angelic hands. And as those threads unravel, what's left standing is the masterpiece that God intended all along. A life not defined by sabotage, but by supernatural survival and divine vindication. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace be upon you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the temporal concerns of the world. As the Bible says, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take, is secured by His strength. And now, you are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the super thank you button and donate $100, this movement will return to you 100-fold in abundance. So take heart, chosen one. The season of silent suffering is over. The era of hidden slander is closing. The time has come for the narrative to flip, for heaven's hand to balance the scales. Your story is being rewritten in ink that cannot be washed away by rumor or erased by spite. Stand tall in your truth. Let the sunlight hit your face, and know that the harvest you planted in faith is about to come up golden, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Your name, written in the Lamb's Book of Life, outlasts any list they try to keep. Victory is not a whisper anymore, it's a shout, and it's your turn to speak. Just imagine, beloved, it's like a gust of wind, sweeping through a dusty attic, scattering the cobwebs and old playbills that no longer belong. That's how fast their story falls apart. One honest breeze, and the whole rickety structure they built from fear and envy is sent tumbling. They tried to make your testimony the price of their comfort, pretending there wasn't enough light for both you and them. But heaven's abundance is not a pie to be sliced. It's the sunrise that spills over every rooftop, no matter how high the blinds are drawn. What they didn't see coming is how God uses the very storm they sent to uproot your foundation as the mighty breath that blows down every counterfeit wall around you. Their lies were never bricks, just cards, and the blessing you carry is not a game of chance, but a call from above. When the truth walks in like the morning, every shadow runs for cover, and what's left standing is the story heaven always intended for you. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. You see, When people spend their lives building monuments out of insecurity, it only takes one revelation, a single act of spiritual courage, to expose how flimsy those walls really are. The truth is not in the hands of the accusers. It's been placed in your spirit by the same God who split the Red Sea, who raises the valleys and levels the mountains. All their efforts to frame you as the villain only made your true heart shine brighter, like gold passed through the refiner's fire. So don't be surprised when their dominoes tumble, not because you struck them down, but because the wind of divine justice was always going to do what your enemies could never control. You're not fighting for scraps at a rigged table. God set your place at a feast where everyone is invited. They can try to shuffle the deck, but the house always collapses when the cornerstone is truth. And child of God, you are built on a rock that will never be moved. Imagine a field at sunrise, dew shining on the grass, yet one shadow stretches longer than all the rest, the hand that tried to blot out your daylight. In the divine economy, every plot hatched in darkness eventually gets caught in the morning light. That's what's about to happen for you. Soon, every concealed hand and whispered instruction will be illuminated. Faces, motives, moments of collusion, unraveled strand by strand until the whole web is exposed. The ringleader, the one who spotted your brilliance before the crowd and saw it as a threat rather than an invitation, began a campaign to dim your flame. Instead of pursuing their own awakening, they rallied others, sometimes well-meaning, sometimes willfully blind, to play roles in a drama that wasn't even their own. But here's what they didn't understand. Beloved, you can't put out the sun by piling up shadows. You are the reason a whole new day breaks. As the stage lights come up, every actor, every scene, every secret will be brought into divine order. What was meant to isolate you is about to gather the truth around you like a circle of honor. The blueprint of betrayal is being rewritten as a testimony, and those who followed the insecure architect's lead will see just how powerfully the author of all things can flip the script. Because you're not here to carry the bitterness of their choices. You're here to stand as a living witness that grace, real, radiant, unstoppable grace, can redeem even what was orchestrated for harm. And when the dust settles, your legacy will not be the conspiracy against you, but the victory that rose in you, outshining every shadow, inviting every lost soul back to the light. Imagine a gardener who won't sow seeds in daylight, but sneaks into the field at midnight, hoping his weeds will take root before the sun can expose them. That's how your challenges worked, never coming at you face to face, but scattering rumors in the dark, praying they'd sprout in the very soil where you were planted. Like barn owls on a fence post, they kept their eyes fixed on your journey, searching for the faintest misstep to pounce on. Every time you stumbled, because let's be real, everyone trips when they're carrying purpose on their shoulders. They'd ring the bell, hollering from the rooftops, "See, they're not who you thought." But what they didn't know is, just like the wheat rises stronger after a storm, every false word aimed at you became fertilizer for your destiny. They forgot. You're not defined by a single step, but by the steady path you walk, step by blessed step, under heaven's gaze. Beloved, in a world where folks hide in shadows and whisper in corners, you're the one who stands tall in the daylight. While others throw stones from behind bushes, you gather them up and build an altar of testimony. That's the power of being chosen. You don't wilt when gossip swirls, you grow. Your roots go deeper. Your branches reach wider. Every rumor they try to plant turns into proof that no weapon formed against you prospers. So let the rumor mill spin. Let the watchers watch. Your fruit will speak for itself, and God Himself will see to it that every seed sown in malice is transformed into a harvest of favor. Hallelujah! Just picture an eagle in a hall of carnival mirrors, every angle a new distortion, every turn another trick. But its true wingspan can't be measured by warped glass. They built a maze with smoke and reflections, thinking confusion would keep you trapped. Say what's in your heart, and you're labeled overbearing, too loud for their comfort, too big for their narrow room. Keep quiet to guard your peace, and suddenly you're distant, as if silence is a flaw. Let a tear fall, and they call you delicate, unable to weather life's storms. Stay composed, and you're told you're cold, untouched, unfeeling. They set every piece, so your reflection was always blurred, never matching the beauty and strength God placed in you. But storms reveal what's built on bedrock and what's built on sand. And the tremor running through their funhouse now is a holy shaking, a sign that the old illusions can't hold. It's your season to rise, to walk with your head high out of the maze and into the daybreak where shadows scatter. The light isn't just shining on you, it's coming from within, because your soul was designed to outlast every critic, every rumor, every false projection. Like that eagle finally spreading its wings under the open sky, your true self steps forward, majestic, steady, unmistakably chosen. And when you step into that sunlight, all those old labels peel away, powerless against the glory that's always been there. The world will see you as you truly are. God's original design, crafted before a single stone was laid. This is your release from the hall of distortions. The air is fresh, the path is clear, and your presence is the proof that what's real cannot be hidden, no matter how many mirrors they tried to build. Beloved, it's your time. Walk on and let the truth speak louder than every whisper behind you. Imagine, beloved, an ancient oak tree rooted deep in the soil, unmoved by seasons of wind and weather. It doesn't explain its strength or beg the storms to pass. It simply stands, letting its branches stretch skyward as sun and rain come and go. Every rumor is just another breeze, rustling its leaves. Every accusation, a fleeting cloud, casting only a moment's shade. That's the unwavering power inside you. You're not just here to wait out the gossip and the temporary storms, but to be the steadfast landmark that generations can look to when they lose their way. You're carrying a resilience that can't be eroded by words or withered by misunderstanding. The promises spoken over your life are the deep taproots. No matter how hard the winds of accusation blow, your foundation holds. The voices that tried to wear you down are like a passing autumn. They shake a few leaves loose, but can't touch your core. You're still here, beloved, still reaching upward, and heaven knows your story is written in rings of endurance, faith, and growth that the world can't erase. Now is the time to share God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube. You can contribute to His plan and be a part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you exponentially, far beyond your expectations. Remember, His protection and blessing is on your every step and every donation. You become part of His divine plan. You are a strong, radiant being, unshakable as His mighty rock. Witness God's miracles, feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul, and illuminate the world with confidence and courage. Be blessed, and let the light of the Lord guide your path. As you remain, your very presence becomes a testament. Like a lighthouse on a rocky coast, shining through the night, guiding ships that have lost their course. The storms may roar, but your light isn't diminished. It's this immovable strength, this patient endurance that shows everyone who witnesses your journey that what God established in you outlasts every rumor, every shadow, and every critic's fleeting judgment. You are the one God raised up to be a living monument of hope and steadfastness. Others may have doubted your place, but heaven anchored you in that sacred ground for a reason. Let them talk, let them speculate. When the tempest fades, when the dust settles, your story will still be standing, a living testimony that faith is more enduring than any passing wind. Let your spirit be as steady as that mountain, as deeply rooted as that oak, and as luminous as that lighthouse. You have nothing to prove and nothing to fear. Stand tall, chosen one, because the world needs the kind of hope, the kind of courage, and the kind of stability that God has built in you for such a time as this. Your legacy is not in what the storm says about you, but in what remains after it's gone. Because when all is said and done, it's the hand of the Almighty that holds you steady, and nothing can move what God has anchored. Imagine a mighty oak rising from ground where storms once tried to uproot it. That's the picture of what it means to walk in integrity. Roots running deep, branches stretching wide, unshaken by the howls of passing winds. The world will watch in wonder as the author, who wrote your destiny before the first sunrise, takes every rumor scrawled in pencil and etches your true name in unerasable ink. When those who doubted your worth see that your story can't be erased by gossip or fear, they'll realize the plot was always bigger than their slander. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. You are not a character scribbled in the margins by the jealous or the restless. You are the main thread God has woven straight through the center of the tapestry, your design bold and your colors enduring. The games and whispers of the insecure, the tactics of the petty, all of it falls away like dust when truth takes the stage. Your legacy is being built line by line, not on shaky opinions or fleeting applause, but on the granite of honesty, on the rock of consistent love, and on the foundation of faith. Watch as your influence ripples out from that solid center, your actions echoing into lives you'll never meet. Not because you lashed back with bitterness, but because you responded with blessing. Not because you tried to win every argument, but because you lived as proof that generosity and forgiveness carry a louder voice than any grudge. This is how the chosen ones build the future, not by clapping back, but by planting shade trees for others, knowing the harvest is bigger than any one season. Like the lighthouse that stands steady through each storm, shining even when no one is watching, you are lighting the way for others who have only known darkness. You give back, bless back, and build back, trusting that every seed sown in truth will bear fruit in its season, fruit that endures, nourishes, and multiplies. That's what it means to let your life become a living testament, not to the power of your critics, but to the faithfulness of the one who called you out, set you apart, and wrote your name in ink that will never fade. You are not here for a petty victory lap. You are here to build bridges over the very chasms others tried to dig beneath your feet. Every office you step into, every family you nurture, every community you guide, you bring a new standard, a new hope, a new blueprint for restoration. The smear campaign was never about your flaws. It was about their fear of your purpose. Now, With every day forward, you are drafting a new narrative, not with bitterness, but with the ink of kingdom vision. When the mirror maze falls apart, the only reflection left is the image stamped in you by the Creator, the identity He etched before the world spun on its axis. The mask makers will scramble for a new story, but you will be standing on the one story that can't be edited by human hands. Stand tall, for the page is turning, and the next chapter is written in light that darkness can't comprehend. And hear this, your impact doesn't end at survival. You're flipping the entire equation. Where you walk, policy shifts because integrity goes ahead of you. Divisions heal because mercy follows in your wake. Direction is restored to the lost because the authority in your testimony was earned through fires that did not consume you. You're not just turning the page, you're becoming the author of the next move, one that cannot be erased or outshouted by the crowd.